Oh, right. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but we're back with Season 2, Episode 9 of The Owl House. This is Eclipse Lake. Um, so we'll go ahead and start with Brock. Things you noticed, things you liked about this episode?
Bellows is looking pretty human and sounding and looking a lot like Philip.
Anything else?
I don't know. I need to say much of anything else. Or other than the fact that that golden boy called Amity a human?
No, I think he was referring to Luce.
If I remember the statement correctly, he said, "You're a human." I could have heard that statement wrong, but I swear to God he said, "You're a." Either way. But yeah, I'm not going to say that I think I might be right about something, but unless he starts growing some gills, I think that Bellows is human.
Anyway,
Mr.
Misao.
I've been there before.
Anyway, Misao, how'd you feel revisiting this episode?
God, I kind of remember why I start to love Hunter in this episode.
I don't blame you. This is the
Dig
episode
in my
where,
grave.
this is the episode where I went from like kind of getting into his character to yeah, no, he's so pathetic and kind of lovable at the same time.
Yes.
Fun fact, I'm going to get to meet Hunter's voice actor in November.
Awesome.
Nice.
I had no idea that, like, we talked about Xeno, and then all of a sudden I look back and I'm like, in November, there's a couple of people, one com we're going to a day of that's basically the main cast of Jujutsu Kaisen and him.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyone, oh boy, this is going to be way out of taste, but anyone at this time, no, this will work. Anyone who's seen this and you watch this and you go on GalaxyCon Live, you can order an autograph of Amity's voice actor. She has an availability that will go up later this year. All you have to do is sign up and they get mailed straight to you. That's how I got a metric assload of autographs during COVID.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of Amity, this is more or less her time to shine in this episode, as she's the one basically leading this mission to retrieve the Titan's blood from Eclipse Lake. Or so they think that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the fool's blood. I have to make a comment to bring up a funny story that neither of my sisters are ever going to see this, but the house that I live in now, I bought from my mom, and we moved in here when I was in... Oh, my parents got divorced when I was in second grade. Moved here when I was in fourth, I want to say. And our neighbors had animals that, just didn't like to stay in their own yards. And one of them was a cat named Ghost, a white cat named Ghost, which
nice.
reminded me of that off there. And I don't remember doing this, but apparently I had a propensity for not fully shutting doors when we left the house when I was younger. I don't remember this, but apparently I did. And at one point, I had left the door open, and this cat, while the house was for sale, basically used to just chill out on our back patio and thought the house was his. And then one day I left the door open and the cat got in, and we come home from school and it looks like a war zone had happened because my sister Amanda had basically went through the entire house with a freaking broom, turning over beds and couches trying to get this damn cat out. It was not a good day. She was not happy.
Yeah, the creator Dana Terrace named that talisman after her own cat named Ghost.
Nice.
So that was kind of cute.
Nice.
I think we can all agree that the biggest highlight of this episode is that fight scene with Amity and
Yeah.
Hunter.
That's where the budget started kicking in.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, it finally took until this episode where I finally saw the meme.
Oh,
The Dragon Claw Z. It's that old. I remember seeing this in theaters 30 years ago. I had no idea what the show was, but I've seen that meme so many times. Like, holy shit. It was like uncovered in an ancient document. I'm like, that's where that's from.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I have a feeling that as we progress through the season, you're going to do the Leonardo DiCaprio thing at every time there's some reference to a meme. You'll be like, hey, I understood that. I understood that reference.
Yeah, I saw. I like kind of forgot about it, and then I saw it again, like maybe last week. So it was fresh in my memory. And then it came across, and the scenes hit. I was like, oh, like a core memory just unlocked. Yeah. But yeah, and the only other note, and I'll let you get going, was that, oh boy, do I not want to look it up for spoilers' sake, but the voice actors and images of Philip and Bellows are starting to look and sound a lot alike.
I can't remember who they got to voice the narrator of the diary, but they do a good job. That's all I can say without
Yeah.
They do. I bet
giving
they
anything away.
Anyway, go on.
There's not really much else to talk about in terms of the B plot, because it's really just Luce is stuck at home with the common mold, and Gus and Willow and Hootie are pretty much just her babysitter.
They don't understand human music or noises.
I'm sure there are memes out there of that scene with all of them listening to, what was it, whale noises and Korean hip hop.
Whale noises, Korean hip hop, and then it was thunder and
like an opera singer.
An opera singer at the same time while Luce is screaming for them. Also, all right, all of us were born in the 90s. What is this Tamagotchi texting horseshit toy they made up? I'm like, I don't know what era that thing's supposed to be from, but that was one where I'm like, you weren't texting people over a fucking Tamagotchi in the 90s, and this wasn't supposed to take place during the 90s, so who's sending an emoji-specific texting toy out right now?
I don't know, but you are onto something. That is a direct reference to Tamagotchis.
As I figured it was. I'm like, are they? I was like, okay, they're both girlfriends. I'm like, have they already adopted a Tamagotchi child? Is that what I'm supposed to assume from this scene? And then I'm like, no, graphs. And then they're like, I'm like, she's overreacted. And they're like, oh, turn it sideways. I'm like, yeah, that would be how young lesbians would talk to each other.
Basically,
it's through memes. It's funny. And then somehow King, a person who doesn't know how human language works, goes, maybe it goes that way. Shocking. The boy doesn't understand how lesbians and relationships work when he can't figure out his father's human.
To be fair, Hunter doesn't know the meaning of love, given his existence.
Yes. We go more into it later on.
Oh, I bet. Google's not friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. They like to put the budget, like you said, with the scene. They like to put the budget in when they feel like it. And they're not going out of their way, but it's just that you're so not used to it. It's kind of like, not exactly, but it's kind of like Freerun, where it's super basic through most of the anime. And then out of fucking nowhere, you will have some like Jujutsu Kaisen Dragon Ball level fucking fight scene. What show am I? Where did that come from? What are we doing?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of love when anime and cartoons do that, where they keep the budget small for
The good stuff.
Yeah, they keep it pretty small for dialogue scenes. There's this one great gag in Invincible where I'm sure you've seen it floating around where Mark meets the creator of this TV show he likes, and basically he's making fun of the fact that animation usually cuts corners when they have to.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
but
I think you guys told me that. See,
nothing in my life is ever gonna beat, and I can never think of what the freaking character's name is. It's that Mantis character on Space Ghost Coast. Masao's gonna have no fucking idea what I'm talking about.
Is it Zorak?
Zorak, but he's talking. He's like, "How come you never turn to talk to me? Because every time I move, it costs Comedy or Cartoon Network $47." It's the best. Just what? Or it's not regular show. What the hell's that one where they're talking normally and then all of a sudden they're like, what happened to the budget? They cut and it's back to their group of them in the animation booth because they didn't have animation budget. I want to say it's a Disney show.
Oh wait, no, I think it might be Chowder.
It could be Chowder. Either it's fantastic. I don't think an example's ever going to beat that Space Ghost Coast to Coast one, but the worst opposite. And if you join us for the next one we're doing of this, because I'm bogarting what we're doing the next one, how long this one's taking. But the next one, you will get homework, Miss Sal, because you have to watch one show, because you've watched the other one already. And I won't say what it is. And you don't say what it is, but it's a show I suggested to you. The other one has a part where they just lost the budget in the first, 10 episodes. And then you have an entire sequence that is of two characters riding an elevator for possibly 20 seconds because they just couldn't afford to animate things.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. And
or when one character is holding another one for a solid 20 to 30 seconds because, animation's expensive and we don't know how to do budgets.
Oh, God. Now I need to know what this is.
Oh, it's the Star Wars of anime. I'll just tell you that. Someone told me that at a con the other day, and I'm like, you are super correct. That is the one where you're like, no, we'll tell you what it is as soon as we get off the air. I don't want to give the hint of what our next thing is. We will be doing an anime again. We'll be doing an anime again after this, and it's something I have referenced in the past, but yeah. It's the exact opposite of knowing how to save your animation budget.
Oh, gosh.
To be fair, now that I went back and I've been redoing editing and uploading these recently, we actually mentioned the show in a reference with a t-shirt in this show.
Yep. It was in the last episode.
Neon Genesis?
That's part of your homework, is to watch Neon Genesis.
Oh, dear God. Do I need to be high to understand that?
No. It might help in some parts, but did you used to for a job used to teach it at a church kind of with kids, or am I wrong?
It was like a Catholic school.
A Catholic school. Oh, have fun. That's what's gonna be even more? The fact that you got to do that. That's gonna help you a ton. I'm gonna leave it at that. Mike, you could say anything else you got to say.
Dear God.
How do I end this? Because I'm trying to think. How am I going to end this recap? Yeah. Overall, I'll just say revisiting this episode was a lot of fun. It's reminded me of how much I really enjoy seeing the progression of all the characters. Mm-hmm. It's fun to see King and Ida experimenting with their newfound abilities, And
We didn't discuss that he had to talk to it and make a deal either.
yeah, that was an interesting development.
Mm-hmm.
But
also
it makes sense given the newfound respect that she has for her inner owl beast.
First,
yeah,
you were saying something.
I kind of want to go back to talking about the whole Amity fight. I do kind of like how she has a little like jug of the purple
Oh, the
like
abomination.
goo. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a cool little touch.
Yeah, because if you watch her fighting moves, Amity is pretty much the same as Katara's, and then, if I'm not mistaken, same voice actor.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure.
And I wish I would have. Go ahead.
Pretty sure that's not a coincidence either. The reference to Katara's water pack.
Yeah.
If I think of this correctly, oh no, that was when I thought there was last year at the con that I went to that I'm going back again to this year. There was a couple of Avatar voice actors that were there, but yeah. Also that the key is broken.
Don't worry, that's not important.
Just don't worry about it.
Not important whatsoever.
Just don't worry about it.
Just, got it. Cool. Like how you ignore me every single time I say Bellis is human. We're just gonna ignore that statement too. Got it. We're just gonna wad that in the ball and throw it over there and not deal with it. Okay, got it.
Anyway. King, we love King.
Yes, we do love King.
We do love King, and we get to wait to see how long that his dad realizes that the house ate his letter.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. For anyone who hasn't seen this, anyone who's watching this, I tell you right now, I'm only watching the episodes he's done so far. Danny Mata from Otaku's Anonymous. I'm not the hugest fan of his co-host, but I really love Danny. He does reactions to this, and to say that man has the hard on for any adult woman character in this show is to be generous. And like he saw Harpy eating, he's like, you somehow made Ida hotter, and then all of a sudden he thinks to himself, he's like, does that mean I get to see Harpy Lilith? I don't know if my heart can handle that. He's fantastic. I love Danny Mata to death. He's just the best.
I'll have to look him up later, but
yeah.
Next episode
sounds familiar.
I guarantee you've seen him react to certain things. He's like, have you ever heard the quote, I understand it's an RPG. What am I role-playing? The fucking victim? If you've ever heard that line, that's Danny Mata.
I've heard that before.
That's Danny Mata. He's hilarious.
So, next episode is another loose-centric one. I mean, of course, she's the main character, but you'll see
what I mean. Main character? No way. Get out of town.
Wow. You know, maybe she.
It took 2 seasons. We know who the main character is.
Crazy.
Anyway, before we get out of here, Sal, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Cuba11028.
And Brock?
You can find me everywhere at Organoid0, mainly on Twitch and YouTube.
And you guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You guys can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and that place at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we. And until next time,
bye!
Bye.